2pm-3pm-40-3333.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 7474 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 7474.
Hello, friends. This is Thomas Johnson from Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. Need a great idea for lunch or dinner? Your best bet is Joe's, one of the most popular dining destinations on the Strip. Joe's provides the ideal setting for private parties with accommodations for up to 150 guests. Stop by to see us at the Forum Shops at Caesars and ask for Thomas Johnson, your maitre d'.
There you go, Rich. I mean, if you're looking for a great place to celebrate the big win, head over to Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. I mean, they're going to treat you right there. You've been to the one in South Beach, right?
I have, and it's a wonderful place.
It's just fantastic out here. Great meals. Make a reservation if you're going to Joe's, 702-792-9222. We alluded to this earlier, talking about the Wizards-Heat game. We have conflicting trends here, Teddy.
Oh, no, they're not conflicting. They're both pointing in the exact same direction.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the Washington Wizards, 3-17. Against the spread as an away dog. That includes 0-8, their last 8 tries. They have not been good in this role. The Miami Heat, on the other hand, 15-4 against the spread, their last 19 overall. So we have Washington struggling as a road dog. We have Miami covering game in, game out. The Joe's Angle of the Day says, take a look at the Miami Heat minus the 6.5/7 tonight.
Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas joining us right now. And Kelly did an interview with Rich Velez yesterday. We're going to have you talk about that in a moment. But I have to relate a story first. Kelly, you were in a dream of mine last night.
Oh, boy.
And I have a few highlights for that. I'm not making this up. This is typical weird dream stuff.
Hopefully Tony Miller wasn't in it as well.
No, but the weird thing is, now, I don't exactly remember what. It's not that detailed, obviously. But Kelly and myself were apparently coordinating some kind of an awards dinner for the Golden Nugget contest. Okay,
Oh, very nice. Okay,
but we were doing it in Los Angeles.
So
I have no idea why.
Was it televised?
But
Must have been...
No, and we're driving in L.A. Okay, and I'm bitching as usual because I don't like L.A.
Are you driving your car or her? Who's driving?
I don't know. I was driving.
Okay, so you're driving.
I'm
Kelly
an alpha.
around
I'm
in
an
LA.
alpha personality, so I'm always driving. Okay, so when I'm talking, and I said, Kelly, I don't like L.A. It's the most pretentious place in the world. And I actually remember this from the dream. I said, everybody's doing a pilot here. and Kelly says something about, yeah, I know. And then she looks at me and she goes, I'm doing a pilot. So now we got to get something to eat, okay? And
This dream's just getting better.
I decide that I want to go to some restaurant that's got one of those menu tastings going on where it's an assigned menu.
Sure, like a prefix.
Yeah, and Kelly says to me, well, you don't like those. You like to be able to choose whatever you want. And I said, well, I don't care. We're going there anyway, right? So now we're heading to this restaurant, but Kelly says, we have to stop someplace because I have to go to the bathroom, okay? This makes no sense because she could have waited until we get to the restaurant.
It probably means that you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
So instead we stop at this restaurant. And it's got no identification to it, but it looks like the Pancake House, okay? And we go in there, and this is almost the end of the dream now.
This dream's not getting any better, though.
It's kind of weird. I told you. I don't want to eat in this place, but it turns out that the owner of the place greets me, and it's a guy I knew 40 years ago in Providence, okay?
Of course he is.
And he still looks the same as he did then, Bobby Archuleta. Kelly goes up to the bathroom, and I'm pissed now because I don't want to eat at a Pancake House rather than some fancy restaurant. And I asked the guy, I said, do you have anything on special? It's the Pancake House. He says, yeah, we got some fresh swordfish in tonight.
Sure. I can tell you what this dream means. It means you had to go to the bathroom and you're hungry for swordfish.
I love swordfish. And I woke up at that point. I actually woke up out of the sleep and looked over on the night table, and all I had was some nacho cheese crackers, which was not swordfish. So that was our dream, Kelly.
Did Kelly
Oh,
order?
my gosh, Dave, that is hilarious. I was, waiting for, it to get really, really good, and then I was
Where's
like,
the punchline?
okay. Yeah,
No,
well,
the last I saw of
punchline is
you,
we went to the Pancake House.
the last I saw of you in the dream was you were heading to the bathroom in the Pancake House, and that was it. Then the guy started talking about swordfish, and I stopped paying any attention to you at that point.
That's the last I saw of her in real life.
So you hung out with the champ yesterday, Rich Velez, and you were the proxy for Rich this year.
I was, and I hope Rich chose me for, a special reason other than just choosing between the proxy services. But, man, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Such a great guy. Was letting me take pictures, do the interview for Wager Talk TV and everything like that. But, when you sign people up, you get to meet them for maybe 10, 15 minutes. But Rich and I text throughout the course of the season because I was always giving him hell about being right down to the deadline, and obviously there was a good reason for it. So I had to give him a little bit of grief about that yesterday.
Any snippets from the interview that you can share?
Yeah, we talked about a couple of different things, like as far as, quote-unquote, him being an amateur. Obviously, we were all texting last night, and he said, he's been following you since the 80s. And I wanted to make a joke about I don't remember the 80s, but I did not. I refrained.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the only reason I'm not making a lot of jokes about Kansas State basketball today.
You should. You should make as many as you can. That was brutal the other night. But so we were just kind of having a good time, just talking about it. Getting some pointers from someone who won a contest their first time out, which I feel like usually doesn't happen. Guys come to town and they're like, "Yes, I'm going to do this." And then, when they go 50%, then you don't ever see him again. But, Rich just put his foot on the gas and did not let up that last, weeks pretty much. So I just had him give some pointers and stuff like that. And it was just a really fun, casual interview. Just head over to Wager Talk TV and you guys can watch that over there.
Well, I got to ask you, Rich, because the drama of the final week of the contest was insane, where everybody, like all the leaders went 6-1.
Yeah, the drama of the last 2 weeks were insane.
So how'd you handle it? How'd you deal with the stress?
It's funny, the second to the last week, I was 3-0 with my colleges, and I played a lot more colleges than pro, and I kind of dreaded the pro. And then a
lot of us feel that way.
I had the Patriots and the Browns, coasting, to their victory, and I got backdoored in both of them back to back. And while I went out for a walk, I'm not going to watch this. I got some coffee on my phone. I watched both of them back to back backdoor cover losses. Yeah. I'm like, okay,
the Buffalo one was brutal.
Both of them were brutal. 26-3 in the fourth.
Yeah.
And
the Bengals. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the Bengals came back on Cleveland.
And with a 2-point conversion to boot. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, this is not going to be easy. So then, we get to the next week, and again I'm watching the Bills game. So I was at the link. I sat next to this guy who was wearing a Bills jersey. So we're watching the first half, and TV, everything's high fives, and they're up 14-0, and
they blow that in about 2 minutes. So 30 seconds, so really
turn
a game
around,
time. Yeah.
Touchdown. I'm like, okay, we'll go into the half. They can just run it out. There's only like 40 seconds. Why are they going to have Allen throw? Next thing I know, a pick six touchdown. I was looking at my phone. I didn't even see it. And the good Bills guy next to me said, "You don't want to see what Allen just did." So I left there, went up to my room, showered, walked around, played some slots, and didn't even watch the second half. Texted all my friends and said, "Don't text me." And finally, my one friend, Rick, texted me and said, "You might want to check the score. It's 41-17 now." So from there, I just kind of let out and I kind of did the same with the NCAA. Michigan State, Oregon was my final winner. That was the one for the win.
You had Michigan State?
I had Michigan State.
So did I, and that game got uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Despite the fact that Michigan State was, to me, clearly the right side, but they screwed up so many opportunities in the scoring range. It's like, oh, man, what are you doing? But now, you were in first place going into the last week, right?
Yeah, I had a game and a half lead.
And that's the nice thing, is that you can just play your games. You don't have to worry as much about strategy. I know, for people who are behind going into that last week, sometimes they've got to go opposite what they think the leader is going to do.
Yeah, it's tough in this contest that there were 4 or 5 people within. They were within a half game, 1.5 of me, but then there was 2, 2.5, 3. Right. So they can't really take chances because they're going to lose on second place.
Yep.
Right. So it was 119, 59, 29, and 20. So there's a big drop off from second to third. Yeah. So you can't go on the limb. So my strategy was really to try to to watch line moves to see if I can find some stale lines to match other plays. So the variance, they would only have, I would match 3 or 4 or 5 plays, so the variance of them catching me is a lot less. So then I would have to go like 0-2 or 0-3 on certain games, and they would have to go 3-0. So that was kind of my strategy down the stretch.
Kelly, it was a great year for the contests in town. The Nugget Super Contest obviously did tremendous business as well. And it's only going to get bigger. I mean, this is a legit question. I mean, are you going to is this going to be a national thing for you, proxying? Because I imagine we're going to have tie-ins to the properties that are located in other states. How's it going to work?
I think that's what the Superbook USA kind of thing, what they're trying to do with that is because they are trying to take it to a national level. I mean, there's a lot of things in the works. The problem is getting people to Vegas to sign up. There's a lot of different things that, you have to go through the Westgate and get permission for to make sure that, hey, these things are okay or these things aren't okay. And, if you look, there's a Westgate in Orlando and there's a Westgate in somewhere in Tennessee, like Gatlinburg or somewhere, that has a casino. So I'm wondering, if we can figure out ways with them to be able to have people maybe go to any of the locations to sign up. How cool would that be? Then maybe it's only a 3-hour drive for you to drive to Orlando versus, a 6-hour flight. So there's lots of ways I think it's going to grow. I think obviously we've just seen it blow up. Rich made a comment yesterday to Tony that with the new format and the way that the Golden Nugget is, it's only going to get bigger. I think this year showed that people didn't like that head-to-head format. They liked that it was 17 weeks. I mean, granted, we talked about this yesterday, Rich, that, that 1 week you have to basically pick NFL, so that gets kind of dicey for the guys that are picking college every week, but it kind of shows that you're not just limited and that you can still successfully pick winners over the course of the season. So I do think that both contests are going to get huge. And, given the fact that it's not illegal anymore federally, I'm hoping that we can see some stuff, obviously, within the state of Nevada. It's going to have to get approved, but over the next several years where maybe, you may not even need a proxy. I don't necessarily want to lose my side business, but that being said, if everything can go to being online and you can submit your plays online, who knows what the prize pool would be? $20 million? I mean, if you could get – this year we had just a little under 3,000. If you could get, 7,000 people in this contest, now you're doubling the amount of the prize pool. I mean, it just starts to grow and grow and grow. And so if they take off some of those limitations, I think the sky's the limit.
Are you going to have an extra Twitter account like @Kelly in Biloxi?
No, I am most definitely not, and nor will I probably be traveling to Biloxi at the other Golden Nugget. Even maybe if Tony can get me on Fertitta's private jet on a ride down there, then we could talk about maybe going to Biloxi. But don't have any desire to really travel there on my own accord.
Much worse places to spend a couple of days.
Sure there. I wasn't disparaging Biloxi.
Biloxi's quick drive to New Orleans too.
Yes,
I mean.
But let me ask you this. Over under, because we were talking about for next year. Over under Nugget, what do you think? 505.5? Is that a good number?
I think that's a great number. I would say 500 is probably about right. I don't necessarily think it's going to double in size, but I think it'll get really close to doing so. Yeah, at 500, I think that's a great number. 505.5, I will take the over.
All right. Just checking out the football. Anything from Vegas Murray or anybody else as to where some real respected money is showing up this weekend?
I've got nothing from Vegas Murray. You know why? Because he's on vacation, and I told myself I was not going to bother him because this poor man gets a text message at least 17 times a day from me. Between him and Ralph, I'm not sure who hates me more from my texting for help. But today I did have to text Jeff Sherman to get some early college basketball lines for the show that I do after this with CBS Sports HQ. So it's pretty funny that I did not have to text John to get that. But, we did talk earlier in the week. I think we're going to start doing a basketball show.
Oh, cool.
Get away with it on Friday afternoons because as soon as the lines drop, there's guys in there waiting to bet. They're betting on the app. They're betting in the book and hoping that we could get some sharp action. But, man, those football sides were so good. I'm nervous that we cannot replicate it in college basketball.
Well, and I told you to make sure and include me in that because I've usually got my numbers ready to go by the time the numbers actually appear. All right, we're up against the clock. Kelly, good luck with the pilot. Sorry about leaving you in the bathroom at the Pancake House, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Kelly. Take care.
Thank you.
It was such a weird. I didn't make up any of that. That was the actual
bizarre.
dream. And there's nothing more disappointing than thinking you're going to eat swordfish, And then waking up and all you get is a little package of nacho cheese crackers on the night table.
Yeah, but it's pancake out swordfish. It's not,
But it was a friend of mine from back in Rhode Island. And,
They know how to source
Italian guys
swordfish.
from Rhode Island can all cook. Okay? So it was probably like a good swordfish piccata, and I missed out on it. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to our wager talk. Marquee matchup. You got to know what that is. That's the Golden Knights of the